Sight is one of the most important senses of man. Without it, it's hard to say if humanity would even still be here. However, sometimes it's a curse. Witnessing horrors like famine, war, Gorlock the Destroyer, your empty bank account, or a baddie's rejection text. Sight can be painful. So it's best that we get rid of that little trick your eyes can do. And I know the exact game to fix that. Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors, or as I like to call it, Epilepsy, the game. It's an action RPG, bullet hell, action roguelike, which is currently sitting at mixed reviews. Rev up that game engine, cause I'm sure hungry for some gaming. The main menu looks like a mobile game, and this time it's not a bit on my part. I feel like I've seen these textures before. Also, the graphical options are present like every absent father, but no one really opens up a game and immediately says, what about those graphical options? So I digress. Clicking new game, you're given the option to customize your 3 classes of characters, which are fighter, rogue, and wizard. The customization boils down to changing the name of your characters, which I took advantage of, despite it not changing anything in the grand scheme of things. You can also change the gender of your characters. I made all of them men because realistically, only my fellow man is stupid enough to go spelunking this unprepared. You go down there with no skills or weapon and just pray to God you're bestowed something. Oh, I forgot to mention, the different characters have different abilities, ranging from gimmicks to game breaking, lore-wise and gameplay-wise. It's time manipulation versus a shield and smoke bombs, nuclear bomb versus coughing baby. Continuing the selection process, we are asked to select our main character and a companion. In this case, I chose to be a wizard because I find the art of testicular torsion very funny, and the fighter as my companion. I plan to use him as a human shield. This game is a roguelike. When you die, you lose progress and have to start again. However, it lacks some of the modern, well-known roguelike aspects that I'm accustomed to, like procedural generation. Every time you enter a floor, it's the exact same. I'm sure the rocks are moved or something, but other than that, it's the exact same dark room. It's like me robbing you one day and then robbing you the next day, but the sun is in a different position. Now, the combat. Technically, there is no combat. Your companion and main character have 4 ability slots that can be filled, but the use of these abilities are purely automatic. Granted, you have control over the use of your potions, your special ability, in this game time stop, and movement, which is the dash ability. Dash can be useful, the same way dashing through a minefield at the speed of Usain Bolt can be useful. This game just tends to throw enemies at you, meaning crowd control abilities will be your bread and butter. As you upgrade your abilities and select certain passives, the automatic use of these abilities become more frequent, and the abilities themselves take up more screen space. Subpar, what are you getting at? I can't see shit. What is going on my screen? It doesn't help that enemies drizzle in at first and then just start dumping full loads on the battlefield. You have to get past numerous gaggles of brothers to reach chests that provide upgrades. The number of upgrades that you receive from each chest is determined by a dice roll, and it's kind of unnecessary. I'd much prefer if chests just had rarities. I don't appreciate being edged by RNG. Killing enemies allows you to pick up experience. With enough experience, you level up and get to choose abilities or passives. To do the same thing for your companion, you need to go to certain points. So you can either go to chests or upgrade your companion. Tough choices. Being sarcastic, your companion kinda does fuck all sometimes. Points with a card symbol on it drop. You won't get this. Cards. Cards can be upgraded in your collection to increase your damage against certain enemies, and defense. Don't get your hopes up, it's like 3%. Thank you, oh generous devs, for the scraps you provided today. Oh yeah, by the way, you need to capture points in this game to get the items in it. Boss and minions swarming you and you need to leave? That's tough. Lock in. That was very painful. You don't mind doing that 4 more times for the funsies, with 0 additions or changes to the gameplay loop. Yes? Congrats, you're a potential customer of this company. You're rewarded for your CBT endurance with a boss fight at the end of the chapter. It's ass. Like, he can't hit you. He has a Reinhardt charge that is so telegraphed a paraplegic could dodge it on his own with no assistance. At least there's no enemy span. I'm fucking with you. Halfway through, he throws half the population of Pakistan at you. When he does this, he disappears, by the way, so you can't even damage him during this. Once you clear out the peaceful protesters, he summons what I think are immortal knights to harass you while you fight him. His other attacks during this phase are what I call Japan 2011 and the least acidic Indian rain. I hope you were able to decipher the accompanying footage. The gameplay was somewhere in there. After beating them, you get the reward of doing that again, but this time with a different skin. Using the golden gems that we stole from what is basically a graveyard, we can upgrade our main character and their abilities. That's the entire gameplay loop. There's a story, but I just didn't feel like reading. So I assume this dude is trying to attend Kikume's circumcision, and all I have to do is stop him. Do I recommend this game? Please find a real person's opinion on this game, and not some dude's manifestation of mental instability. Anyway, see you next time. Or not. Haha. Also, welcome to the service industry. Cough, cough.